No, I got to thinking one day, how come this hole is not filling up? It must be an awfully deep hole. There were some helicopter activity around the property. There's nothing natural about this hole at all.
Your best protection is to be public, Mel.
Scientists have finally solved Mels Hole mystery, and it's not good. For many years, people have been fascinated by Mels Hole, with ideas and guesses that are far from normal, reaching into the world of the unbelievable. Tales flourish about its endless bottom, strange magical qualities, and the mysterious creatures that are believed to live down there. However, amidst the stories of unusual occurrences and unexplained events, scientists claim to have found a solution to the problem of this mystery. But what could be hidden within the shadowy depths of Mels Hole, waiting to be uncovered? Join us on this epic quest to unravel the mystery of Mels Hole. Mel's Strange Hole. When Mel Waters bought his land in Kittitas County, Washington, near Manastash Ridge in 1996, he didn't notice anything unusual about it. The land had been cared for by an elderly couple for over 30 years before Mel became the owner. He had no idea that this ordinary piece of land hid a strange mystery that would soon attract people from all over the world. One day, as Mel explored his new property, he discovered something amazing: a perfectly round hole in the ground. This hole, about 9 feet wide, was lined with stone about 15 feet down. Curious about his discovery, Mel tried to find out how deep the hole was. He used different methods, like dropping weighted objects tied to a fishing line, including a roll of Lifesavers candy. No matter what he did, he couldn't find the bottom of the hole. Mel's discovery sparked curiosity and wonder, leading to many attempts to solve the mystery of the seemingly bottomless pit. The silent depths of the hole only added to its mystery, making it a fascinating and puzzling feature of Mel's land. No matter what Mel tossed into the hole, he couldn't hear a single sound when it hit the bottom. This left him with a puzzling and eerie silence. Determined to get to the bottom of this mystery, Mel began a series of experiments to discover what was hidden in the depths of the pit. He first tried using a fishing line with a heavyweight, thinking it would help him measure the depth, but he was astonished when the line didn't touch anything solid. Mel reported that he used an incredible 80,000 feet of fishing line and still couldn't find the bottom. But this was just one of many strange things about the hole. Mel noticed that animals behaved unusually around it. His dogs were terrified and refused to come near, which was odd because they usually weren't afraid of anything. It wasn't just his pets. Neighbors also reported their animals acting fearfully around the hole. As word spread, the hole became known in the community as a place where people would throw away unwanted things, adding to its reputation. People would toss their garbage into this hole, but it never seemed to get full. Some even said they had thrown their dead pets into it, only to see those same pets running around in the woods later. Mel's story gained fame when Art Bell, the host of the popular late-night radio show Coast to Coast AM, covered it in 1997. Mel appeared on the show to reveal his astonishing experience to a fascinated audience. Everyone who tuned in was intrigued by the hole and its strange resistance to the usual rules of nature. As Mel's story spread, it sparked a lot of curiosity and discussion. People from all walks of life started to speculate about where the hole came from and what it meant. Some wondered if it was a gateway to another universe or a tunnel leading to the Earth's depths. Others thought it might be the result of advanced technology from a forgotten civilization or a secret project by powerful people. Mel on radio interview. In 1997, Mel appeared on the well-known late-night radio show Coast to Coast AM, which was hosted by the popular Art Bell. This show was famous for exploring strange and mysterious topics, and it had a big following of curious listeners. Mel's story about what would later be called Mels Hole took the audience by storm. During his interview, Mel shared an incredible story about finding a strange hole on his land and his efforts to measure how deep it was. He recounted how he first tried to measure the hole with a fishing line that was 1,500 feet long, attached to a roll of Lifesavers candy. To his shock, the line disappeared into the hole and he couldn't find the bottom. He even tried using a staggering 80,000 feet of fishing line, but still he couldn't reach solid ground. Mel described some unusual things about the hole, like how objects dropped into it seemed to disappear without making any sound, and how animals around it acted strangely. His clear descriptions painted a picture of a haunting phenomenon that didn't fit with what people usually understand, leaving listeners fascinated and eager to hear more. Mel shared some intriguing stories about how his neighbors would toss their garbage and even dead pets into a mysterious hole. But whenever they checked, the hole was always empty. This strange occurrence only fueled people's curiosity. Fans of Art Bell's radio show were fascinated and started calling in with various theories about what the hole might be. Some imagined it was like a portal to another world or a passage leading underground. Others speculated it could be linked to a secret government experiment or created by an ancient, highly intelligent civilization. Among all the theories, a few suggested that maybe the fishing line Mel used to explore the hole simply touched the bottom without him noticing, or perhaps the line was so heavy it gave the illusion of endless depth. Mel was so confident about what he had seen and how far he had gone that it was hard to completely dismiss his story. People were deeply intrigued by Mel's tale, revealing their natural curiosity for mysterious things. His story of an endless pit that seemed to defy all the rules of the world both frightened and fascinated listeners. It made them rethink what they knew about the universe and sparked their imaginations about what could be hidden below the surface. Mel's first appearance on Coast to Coast AM was just the beginning. When he returned to the show, he shared even more amazing details about the hole and the area around it. He claimed that the hole gave off an unusual warmth that was different from the surrounding temperature, and mentioned seeing a strange beam of light shooting up from the pit into the sky. Reports from residents and passing truck drivers added to the intrigue, making everyone curious about the secrets hidden in what seemed like an ordinary piece of land. As more people learned about Mels Hole, they began connecting it to other unusual occurrences, such as UFO sightings and ancient tales of magical portals. The idea that the hole could be a gateway to something completely unknown captivated people's imaginations. With every new piece of information, the mystery grew more fascinating, leaving everyone excited for the next chapter in the story of Mels Hole. Parallel universe and peculiar dime. Mel set off on a trip to Ellensburg, looking for someone who had bought a matching belt buckle from him years ago. After some careful searching, he made a surprising find, a 1943 dime. Normally, dimes from that year had Roosevelt's face on them, but this one didn't. Most American coins have a letter showing where they were made, but this dime had a B, which was odd because no city in the US with that letter had ever made coins. The person who owned the belt buckle took the strange dime to a coin dealer, hoping to figure out where it came from. The dealer was just as puzzled, but was willing to pay a lot for it. Just as the owner was thinking about selling it, something unexpected happened. The Treasury Department stepped in and took the coin. This surprising event caught the attention of Richard Charles Hoagland, a scientist who studies alternate dimensions. He thought the coins might have come from another universe. To make things even more mysterious, Mel's ex-wife had disappeared without leaving any hints, which made Mel feel disconnected from what was happening on his old property and who was taking care of it. As Mel shared his story, some people began to question its truth, thinking it sounded more like a made-up tale. But then something really interesting happened during his conversation with Art that got everyone intrigued again. Mel mentioned the Terra server, a public database of aerial and satellite images that had been available since December 1997, just 8 months after Mel first talked on the radio in 2002. This was before Google Earth was well known. Mel made an astonishing claim. When he checked the database, it looked like his old property had disappeared from the images. This surprising discovery captured Art's audience's interest and sparked a lot of curiosity. After a brief commercial break, the show displayed a satellite image suggesting that Mel's story might have more truth to it than originally believed. Art then shared an intriguing account. Shortly after interviewing Mel, a TV crew had noticed what seemed to be military activity in the Ellensburg area. Mel continued to add more startling details from his own experiences, making his story even more fascinating. One of Mel's trucker friends talked about delivering fiber optic equipment to a warehouse in Ellensburg, where a group of Israelis eagerly received the shipment. Another trucker mentioned transporting advanced technology from the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory in San Francisco to the same warehouse. It's interesting to note that Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory is involved in projects for the US military, and San Francisco is where Mel ended up after his supposed abduction. Although it's unclear if these events are related, Mel thought they were important enough to share. During the discussion, a curious fan asked Art a thought-provoking question. What are the odds of finding 2 bottomless pits in one lifetime? Although this seemed like an impossible question, Mel confidently claimed he had indeed discovered a second one. The Hole of Nevada. The show Coast to Coast Ante Meridiem became very popular, especially in the vast western parts of the United States. People who were fascinated by strange topics, like Mel, loved tuning into this show. One day while Mel was on air, he caught the attention of Native Americans living in Nevada. They were impressed by his knowledge of arts, crafts, and nature, and decided to reach out to him by email, inviting him to visit their reservation. On a cool September day in 2001, Mel set off for Nevada to meet these intriguing people. When he arrived, he found that they had a deep understanding of herbal medicine, which greatly interested him. Mel told them about the unusual plants he grew near an unknown hole he had found. Curious to learn more, the Native Americans then took Mel to another mysterious hole located in a village where Basque families lived. The Basque people, a small European group known for their long history of sheep farming, saw this hole as a sacred place. It was where different cultures and beliefs came together, blending Mel's knowledge of plants with the Basque community's deep respect for the site. In the center of the village, a curious sight appeared, reminiscent of Mel's unusual event. But instead of a stone edge, this one was surrounded by metal. This metal gave off a peculiar warmth, different from any usual heat. Like Mel's strange hole, this new one absorbed odd noises, causing fear in any creatures that came near. Some even said they saw a dark beam coming from inside it, much like the unusual phenomenon at Mel's site. Fascinated by this strange occurrence, Mel and the intrigued villagers decided to run some experiments. Their first test involved lowering a bucket of ice from the local store into the hole, while another bucket was kept on the surface to compare what happened. They were amazed to find that the ice in the hole stayed frozen, even though it was surrounded by warmth. When they tried to melt it with a fire, something unexpected happened. The ice burst into flames in a way they had never seen before. Even though it burned brightly, it gave off a strange kind of heat. One curious person decided to take some home to see if it could provide warmth. They weren't discouraged by the weird results from their bucket experiment, so they tried it again, but the outcomes were still inconsistent. At one point, they considered lowering a person into the hole, but the memory of the ice catching fire made them rethink that idea. Instead, they tried something different. They put a sheep into a crate and lowered it down into the hole. The sheep was nervous and didn't want to go near the hole, but with some effort, they managed to get it into the crate and gently lowered it. Once the crate was in the darkness, everything went quiet and the sheep became still. When they brought the crate back up, the sheep looked fine on the outside, but when they checked more closely, they found that it had been cooked inside and had developed a strange growth with something alive in it. Instead of killing the sheep, they let it go, and to everyone's surprise, it went back into the hole willingly. The group was left stunned and deeply moved by this extraordinary event. Encounter with the mysterious creature. As Mel's mysterious pit and its counterpart in Nevada continued to unfold, a new chapter in his life emerged. This chapter linked his health struggles with the strange discoveries he had made. In a surprising twist, late in the summer of 2021, Mel received heartbreaking news. He had been diagnosed with advanced esophageal cancer and was given just 6 months to live. Faced with the reality of his limited time, Mel felt a strong pullback to the mysteries that had long intrigued him. He couldn't shake the feeling that the pits he had discovered might hold a deeper meaning, maybe even a chance for his survival. Feeling a renewed sense of urgency, Mel decided to embark on what he thought could be his last adventure to solve the secrets of the pits. During this period, Mel's journey intersected once more with the Native American community in Nevada. They believed Mel's knowledge and experiences could help solve the mystery of the hole on their land and reached out to him for help. This renewed connection spurred Mel on, and he accepted their invitation with enthusiasm. He traveled to the reservation, hoping to find the answers he had been searching for. When Mel and the Native Americans arrived at the site of the second hole, they threw themselves into the investigation with renewed vigor. It was during one of these investigations that something extraordinary happened. While conducting experiments near the hole, a strange creature emerged from its depths, similar to one Mel had encountered before during the sheep incident. This time, the creature showed a kind of intelligence and awareness that was hard to explain. When it looked directly at Mel, it created a mysterious connection with him. To everyone's surprise, the creature moved closer to Mel and communicated in a way that went beyond regular words, sharing a message of great importance. It hinted at something about the true nature of the holes and the powerful forces behind them. Mel was struck by the creature's presence, feeling a strong burst of energy as if his very being had been awakened. In the days that followed, Mel went through an incredible change. The cancer that had been attacking his body started to shrink against all expectations. His once hopeless prognosis disappeared, leaving doctors puzzled and searching for answers. Despite the confusion over his surprising recovery, Mel was sure it was somehow connected to his encounter with the mysterious creature. As Mel dealt with the effects of his newfound health, another interesting piece of the puzzle appeared. The Native Americans who had witnessed the strange events gave Mel an artifact found near the mysterious hole, a puzzling 1943 Roosevelt dime. When they looked at the dime more closely, they found that it had unusual qualities that didn't fit with what was known at the time. The dime seemed to come from an unknown place and was made of a material unlike anything familiar. The Native Americans believed this dime held the key to understanding the strange holes and their powers. Eager to explore its potential, Mel and the Native Americans began experimenting with the dime. They found it had an unusual ability to disappear when held at a distance, similar to the mysterious holes themselves. Moreover, it resisted all attempts to be captured digitally or photographed, adding to its mystery. As news of Mel's remarkable healing and the strange dime spread, it attracted both believers and skeptics. Some saw it as proof of the supernatural powers of the holes, while others dismissed it as coincidence or deception. Nevertheless, Mel remained convinced of the truth of his experience and saw it as a chance to explore the deeper workings of the world. The burning ice. The strange gaps in Mels Hole and Nevada's other mysterious holes kept fascinating those who discovered them. As more people got interested, a new twist came into play, a peculiar material called burning ice. This unusual substance had puzzling properties that extended far beyond the holes, setting the stage for a series of unexpected events. It all started with a Basque man from a small hidden ethnic community in Nevada. He was intrigued by the tales about the burning ice near the second hole. Eager to see for himself, he got a sample and brought it home. Little did he know, this seemingly simple act would spark a series of events that would make us rethink our understanding of nature. Wanting to find a practical use for the burning ice, the Basque man decided to use it as fuel for his wood stove. This decision would soon lead to surprising and mind-bending consequences. In the beginning, everything seemed fine. The ice in his stove was melting slowly, giving off warmth and keeping his hut cozy. But after a while, he began to notice some strange things happening. The air inside the cabin became very dry, making him feel thirsty all the time. So he needed to drink lots of water. To his shock, the wooden parts of his cabin started falling apart, crumbling into dust right before his eyes. It was as if the melting ice was sucking all the moisture out of the air, leaving everything dry and brittle. The Basque man, worried and confused, tried to get rid of the ice on his stove, but to his surprise, it had somehow melted into the floor, creating a strange mix of metal and wood. When people heard about what was happening, the authorities sent a team of experts to investigate. When they arrived, they found an astonishing sight. The stove had sunk deep into the ground, leaving behind a perfectly round hole with smooth, shiny walls. The team was baffled by what they saw, trying to understand the mysterious phenomenon that had turned a simple cabin into a scene from a science fiction story. Recognizing how serious things were, they quickly roped off the area and brought in special equipment to free the stove from its underground trap. Even with the best tools and technology, the job was incredibly tough. The burning ice stubbornly stuck to the stove and the surrounding dirt, resisting every attempt to remove it. As they kept trying, a sense of worry grew among everyone there. The burning ice seemed to break the rules of nature, bringing to mind Kurt Vonnegut's fictional Ice 9, which could freeze the whole world. The impact of the burning ice went far beyond the Basque man's cabin, raising alarms about its potential dangers. If this strange substance spreads or falls into the wrong hands, it could cause massive problems around the globe. Leaders and scientists, facing the gravity of the situation, discussed how to control it and stressed the need to understand more about what it was. Meanwhile, Mel Waters, observing from a distance, couldn't stop thinking that the fiery ice might be linked to the strange pits he had discovered. The unusual resemblances and the significant effects they had on the environment, along with their defiance of natural laws, suggested that there might be a significant connection between them, rather than just a coincidence. As the story progressed, the mystery of Mels Hole and its counterpart in Nevada grew even more puzzling, leaving many questions unanswered and sparking the curiosity of many. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. In the heart of the Pacific Northwest, there's a secret waiting to be discovered. Scientists finally solved Mels Hole mystery, and it's not good. For years, people have been buzzing about Mels Hole in the valleys, sparking the curiosity of locals and adventurers alike. Some believed it was a portal to another world, while others thought it might be hiding a fortune. However, scientists have now unraveled the mystery of Mels Hole. What they found was not a magical gateway or a treasure trove, but rather a remarkably deep hole created by natural forces. The real astonishment came when they reached the bottom. Instead of finding darkness and emptiness, they discovered an entire hidden world down there. This underground realm was teeming with bizarre and incredible creatures living in caves, completely isolated from the outside world. But as the scientists explored further, they realized that this newfound world might be at risk. There was a danger that people could invade it, threatening the delicate balance of this sanctuary, which had sheltered creatures once thought to be extinct or only part of legends. What more secrets could be hidden beneath Mels Hole waiting to be unveiled? Let us know your opinion in the comments section. Communication of creature through old boombox. As the investigation into Mels Hole and its mysterious twin in Nevada continued, an exciting new development emerged, revealing strange beings that had been encountered. Local Native Americans who were watching over the Nevada hole reported some unusual events that would change the direction of the whole investigation. They shared that the strange creatures seen during the sheep incident had returned. This time, it could send messages using an old boombox as a sort of communication device. The creature's messages came through rhythmic sounds and vibrations that fascinated Mel Waters and his team of researchers. Eager to see this for themselves, they traveled to the reservation. When they arrived, they witnessed an extraordinary scene. The boombox, placed near the edge of the hole, produced a deep, vibrating hum that seemed to come from deep within the earth. As they listened carefully, the sounds changed and mixed into complicated patterns that were hard to understand. Native Americans who studied these sounds believed they were hearing an important message from a mysterious being. According to their interpretation, the being called itself a rock flyer, an ancient entity that existed before humans. These rock flyers were thought to live underground, moving through hidden passages and tunnels. The message from the creature hinted at otherworldly realms, connected to the strange openings Mel had discovered. It warned against exploring these unknown places, highlighting the serious risks involved. The creature was especially concerned about human actions, possibly causing disastrous events, like melting polar ice and other unusual phenomena. Mel and his team of researchers felt a growing sense of fear as they understood the seriousness of the situation. The strange formations they had encountered were not just unusual geological features, but possible doorways to confusing worlds. This realization brought a strong sense of urgency and caution. For the Native Americans, who saw these openings as sacred, the creature's message confirmed their beliefs. They advised handling these mysteries with great care and respect, considering the potential consequences. Mel was deeply affected by what he had experienced, recognizing the critical nature of the situation. The future of humanity seemed to depend on understanding the secrets hidden within these voids and finding a way to coexist with whatever might lie beyond. As news of these mysterious messages spread, it drew the attention of scientists, government officials, and conspiracy theorists. Some saw it as proof of extraterrestrial life, while others dismissed it as either a prank or a misunderstanding. Even with doubts, more and more people were eager to understand the secrets of mysterious places and the beings that might live in them. Mels Hole, for instance, became well known in conspiracy circles because Mel Waters claimed it had strange properties, like being bottomless and having the ability to bring dead animals back to life. There's also another lesser-known hole in Nevada that's similar, which only added to the intrigue about these locations. Native American communities have been involved in these stories, highlighting their deep connection to the land and their role in keeping its secrets. They interpret messages from these mysterious places by mixing old traditions with modern ideas, showing how ancient wisdom can still be relevant today. The concept of creatures living in underground worlds, like the mythical rock flyers, appears in legends from all over the world, indicating a long-standing fascination with what might be beneath the Earth's surface. These stories reflect a deep and ongoing human curiosity about hidden worlds. In science, discussions about alternate dimensions and the risks of exploring them relate to theories in physics, such as the multiverse and the butterfly effect. Studying these connections could bring together different perspectives and methods. As curiosity about these phenomena grows, it's important to explore them and consider all viewpoints. Whether you're a scientist, a cultural expert, or someone guided by spiritual beliefs, the mysteries of Mels Hole and similar places reveal a fundamental human desire to uncover the unknown. As Mel worked together with the Native Americans to communicate with the mysterious creature living in the deep, he used symbols and sounds and even tried to connect mentally, This process changed his view of the world dramatically. His interactions with the creature led to vivid dreams filled with cosmic images, hinting that he was accessing knowledge beyond normal understanding. Over time, Mel's connection with the creature and the Native American community grew stronger, turning what was once a frightening place into a center of wisdom and connection across different worlds. Word of Mel's experiences spread widely, capturing the imagination of people from various backgrounds who were intrigued by the mysteries of the depths. This growing interest led the Native Americans to carefully balance their openness to outsiders with the need to protect the sacredness of their site. Understanding the importance of their discoveries, Mel took on the role of a mediator, advocating for a careful and respectful way to explore the secrets they had uncovered. The mysterious creature became a powerful symbol of the universe's hidden mysteries, sparking discussions around the globe about what it means to exist and whether there might be life beyond Earth. Eventually, the creature disappeared back into the depths, leaving behind more questions than answers and deeply affecting those who had encountered it. Despite the creature's departure, Mel frequently returned to the location, reflecting on his amazing experience and sharing his story with anyone willing to listen. He encouraged everyone to stay curious about the unknown, emphasizing that exploring the world's mysteries can help us expand our understanding of existence. What are your thoughts on the intriguing discovery of Mels Hole? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section.